Good evening, everyone. In this footage, we are going to be exploring the new dome shields that are currently in the test servers. Dome shields cover over the amp stations and the tech plants currently. It's as far as shooting goes, it's one directional, meaning you cannot shoot inside, but you can shoot outside. And as far as passing through them goes, in this iteration of the dome shields, which is different from the first iteration. First iteration was in Esimir. Small outposts were targeted by the dome shields. You could easily fly through them, and shooting was again one directional. In this iteration of the dome shields, the ESFs and so on are not able to pass through the shield properly. However, you can fly outside of them, but it's currently a little bit bugged, and you may explode during the transition. Now, you cannot fly into them directly. I would imagine this will go as far as the enemy ESFs flying into them goes. As you can see, while trying to fly outside, I blew up. But I would imagine how this would work is that friendly ESFs can fly easily in and out, especially in the amp stations. Given the landing pads are in the inside, this will provide a little bit of safe haven, while enemy libs and so on ESFs will not be able to pass through the shield, and they will have to use the gaps to get in. Now, as far as combat goes, my favorite is the amp stations because it's very packed now. You have to really calculate your moves and so on. If you were not familiar with the in-plant flights, I would recommend you start practicing. It's a lot of fun. You will surely see me in the Miller flying through them just for the fuck of it. I mean, flying inside the shields are a blast. Sometimes the shield will work while moving out. It highly depends on where you try to get out. Sometimes you will get a little bit of hitting around while passing through. It seems to happen mostly in the angle sections. But as far as flying outside goes, I wouldn't bet on going very fast or very slow. There seems to be like a medium speed to handling that properly. Anyhow, as far as getting out of the amp stations with the consoles, I mean spawning ASF course, it's a little bit bumpy. It's a lot more bumpy with the lips sometimes, but it's a 50-50 chance. You don't get something like that in the tech plants, however. In tech plants you have the dome shields in two positions. One is covering the each of the shields, plus the central one is covering the spawn room. Again, it's the same deal. You cannot shoot inside, but you can shoot outside. There is plenty of gaps to fly in through, as you can see. And I would imagine Lips having a hard time, but depending on your flight style, ESS will have no problem engaging in combat in here. But if they implement something like a difference between how it's going to behave between the enemy ESFs and the ally ESFs, which there should be, but if it was up to me, I would say deny access to all of them, just to make it more fun, both in attacks and defense. And I'm just circling through the different tech plants right now because the shielding position of the shielding is the same, but the environment is changing. So in Indar you will have certain passage points like the Havar tech plant. You have plenty of space, so in the Mao tech plant, but for instance in the Towerage tech plant, which I will be passing over in a minute, you will not have that much of a place because of the canyons. Again, the Towerage tech plant is a brilliant place to fly. You have the ability to pass through shields just about anywhere. Currently there is no invisible walls, it's all lighted up very nicely. The render of the dome is just about from all the way from each of the warp gates, so you will not have late rendering problems. Oh shit, there was a shield there, kind of issue. And well, I guess I'm pretty sure they will bring the game make the game a lot more fun for the pilots who like to engage in this kind of environments. Yeah, currently all the tech plants, as I fly through them, there was no difference between how they behave towards enemy or ally. But as you can see in the Towers tech plant, there's more covered areas, there's little holes in the canyons provide, which will make flying through them a lot more fun. And another thing to remember is these shields right now do not go off from incoming fire or the destruction of the shield generators, so they will remain there unless there's a change in the plants. They will remain there during the entire capture. If there's gonna be a difference between how it's gonna behave between allies and enemies, I would imagine it will happen directly when the plant switches ownership. In my opinion, they shouldn't make the shields passable so easily, because, well, if enemy ESFs or an ally ESF can easily die, right? If that was to happen in the first iteration of the shields, you could easily dive into the shield, shoot and get out. It wasn't much of a difference. Anyhow, as far as flying something like a Galaxy goes, yes you can. There's enough gap for flying just about any air vehicle. This goes for both tech plants and the AMP stations. It's a lot easier in the tech plants, while it's a little bit harder in the AMP stations. You just a little bit have to get used to it. As you can see, I'm easily going to be able to fly through them. I would imagine when you make a hot drop with the Galaxy, you will be able to pass through the shield as an infantry. So right now you cannot, but that's gonna change. And Galaxy pickups, well, I would say it's gonna be a lot more fun to do Galaxy pickups with this kind of shield. You have to fly into the shield, and I hope Austin will be designed to have like little bit of gaps also in the swamp, like 2 or 3 entrances for enemy SFs to jump into the shield. But currently for Indar, I love the shields as a pilot, and it will make the gameplay a lot more fun to fly around inside. And well, I would like to see more of this kind of implementations to give pilots more of a challenge to fly in tech plant and in Battlefield in general, like deployable shields, outfit dropped shields, and so on. Speaking of, flying into the AMP station is a little bit tricky right now. I mean, you can pass through those gaps easily, but those are the only 2 gaps that you can fly through comfortably. This is my first flight inside the AMP station, so you will see me crash the Galaxy in a minute. But yeah, it's all about getting used in time. Anyhow, thank you for watching, and I hope you all enjoyed the new dome shields that are gonna be hitting the main servers soon, and they look lovely. Thank you for watching, and fly safe.